Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. I'm Michael Muto. I'm here with UHND's best writer and Notre Dame expert, Greg Flamong. Greg, I'm sure your weekend's a lot better than mine.
It was a great bye week, Michael.
Did you won the bye week?
Notre Dame rose in the rankings. Ohio State got run over by Purdue, which is great. The Dodgers are going to the World Series again. And,
And LeBron, don't forget LeBron.
Oh, man. You know what? That's good, but it's kind of a downer right now. They're 0-2. We got guys spitting on people.
I have a fun fact for you. LeBron James has lost his first game with any team he's ever played. So,
is that true?
That's true. With his first game with the Cavs, they lost. His first game with the Heat, they lost. His first game back with the Cavs, they lost. And now his first game with the Lakers, they lost.
Well, the first two games.
Well, whatever.
It's fine. It's a long
season. It's a long season, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, though, things are going great.
Great. You know what's not going great? The USC football season. The pitchforks are out.
People are very upset, Michael.
If you wear cardinal and gold, just look out. People are coming for you. It doesn't matter what you do, what position you play, where you are in the administration, on the coaching staff. Pitchforks and torches, and the villagers are mad. They're going to burn this thing to the ground.
Man, it's a tough time. People want scalps.
So I said, let's start with the present, and we'll work our way back. Okay. So as of an hour ago, news has come out of USC that for the next game, quarterback JT Daniels is in concussion protocol, so his status is questionable. Backup quarterback Matt Fink broke 3 ribs in the game against Utah. He threw a touchdown pass after he broke his ribs, so I guess good job you, Matt Fink. So he is unavailable for the next game against Arizona State. So that means the third man in this summer's quarterback competition, Jack Sears, has a real chance starting at quarterback for USC on Saturday. But it's interesting because when I said, people are looking for heads, you say people are looking for scalps. Some of those are coming for JT Daniels. So some fans in the USC world may be excited to see Jack Sears.
Where are you getting that from?
Our actually friend of the pod, Alicia Del Toro from Rainer Troy had a little article out today saying that, you know what, just bench JT Daniels.
What was the logic?
So the logic was this offense isn't working. And since Matt Fink is a limited quarterback, a limited offensive scheme would be put in place. And with the talent that the USC Trojans have, the limited scheme and the talent would kind of dumb it down and things would work out a little better. Because I guess by Matt Fink's limited sample size, throwing a touchdown against Utah, leading an okay drive against Stanford, the thought process was that this simplified offense plus USC stars is better than whatever they're doing with JT Daniels.
Okay.
Interesting. I disagree. I firmly disagree.
Okay, let's hear why.
Well, I just think you kind of put yourself in a spot here, starting the true freshman quarterback, JT Daniels, and you've done nothing to help him. So I think you, the coaching staff, can't turn your back on him. You need to figure out how to make this work. He's been put in a bad spot, to say the least. I think most teams try to, like they were saying for Matt Fink, they try to dumb it down for their young quarterbacks, try to make it as easy as possible. USC did not do that. USC has guys running, 15-yard routes on every play. They have a garbage offensive line. They can't block anyone. No RPOs ever. Just weird play calling at weird times. No sense of a running game. So this is, worst case scenario for JT Daniels. And I think you got to stay with it. You got to show confidence in the young guy. Who you benching him for? I mean, I guess it was Matt Fink, and that guy, whatever. He's not a Power 5 quarterback. Let's be real. So I stick with Daniels. Now, I had a hunch that if Matt Fink weren't hurt, JT Daniels would definitely stay in concussion protocol for next week.
Right.
That was gonna be my hot take for this episode. But then the news broke that Fink has a bunch of broken ribs. So I thought that they wouldn't play Daniels anyways, but now I'm not sure because who knows what Jack Sears can do, or who knows how hurt Daniels really is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That's just quarterback scalps people are looking for.
That's surprising to me. I hadn't really heard that. I guess my question would be like, why couldn't they just quote unquote dumb it down for Daniels?
I think the theory is that T. Martin just doesn't want to, but it's kind of saying you're wrong if you change everything that you're trying to do. I think it's some pride, it's some lack of self-reflection. I mean, I don't know why they don't do it. I mean, you watch the games, I watch the games. They've had 2 garbage offensive performances, a couple so-so ones. You think they would, but it's they trot the same stuff out every week. The most effective offense they have is just hucking the ball deep, which isn't really like a thing, and they're not even that good at it. I mean, Utah knew it was coming, so they just had an extra defensive back, or they just played cover 2 the whole game.
Right.
And then they couldn't run. It's like, great, thanks.
Let's just let's go over some stats here. Because this is like, there's garbage games, and then there's like, this is especially bad.
So the score does not reflect what happened in this game.
No.
The Stanford game was bad. They didn't score a touchdown.
Right.
The score reflected that. They scored 28 points?
They had 28 points.
And I don't know. They had 14 early.
Yeah, he threw like this really pretty ill-advised pass.
It's the chuck it deep offense.
Yes, it's the chuck it pass interference or catch offense. He threw it into 2 guys. Michael Pittman made a great play and jumped over them. And there was like a third down, right? Like it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was a third down.
I don't think so. I don't think they saw a third down, or they converted a third down until like the third quarter.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was a second down. I don't know. It was a third play. That's what it was.
Maybe that's right.
It was a third play because they had 7 straight drives that were 3 plays.
Oof.
5 3 and out, the touchdown, and then an interception. So they did that, and then Utah fumbled, and then USC returned it for a touchdown. So it was 14-0.
Scoop and score. Yep.
Yeah, scoop and score. 14-0, and then Utah scored 34 unanswered.
Yeah.
And some of these stats, man. Like they finished with 10 first downs to Utah's 27. At one point, when they benched, I don't want to say bench because he got hurt, but when they pulled, when Daniels had to be removed from the game, they had 5 first downs, and this was like middle fourth quarter. They finished they were 3 of 14 on third down. They had 205 total yards, 73 rushing on 31 attempts, 2.4 yards a carry, 5.7 yards per pass, 132 yards passing. I mean,
a lot of this is the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And a lot of this is Michael Pittman. What did he have? 76 yards of receiving yards, something like that. So he had like over 50% of their offensive yards.
Pittman had 107 yards. So he had over half of the total offensive yards for the team. JT Daniels was 6 of 16 for 89 yards.
And looked shaky at best.
1 touchdown, 2 picks. His QBR was 5.4.
That's not a good number.
Which is low. Let's see. I mean, Stephen Carr, 12 for 23. Vave, 10 for 44.
No said where.
I was going to say he doesn't have any stats here.
There's some rumors that he's in the doghouse for speaking out after the Texas game.
Interesting.
But I didn't think Clay Helton would be a doghouse kind of guy, but who knows?
He's holding them accountable, Michael.
Someone, yeah, the one guy, senior tailback, Oxford Ware, the one guy.
Oh boy,
Clay Helton.
Let's see. I mean, so aside from Michael Pittman, he had 4 for 107. Velus Jones had 3 catches for 4. Tyler Vaughns had 2 catch for 1. 0 touches for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep. That can't happen.
That's not acceptable. 0 touches. I guess he had 2 targets.
Still, I think one of them was one of the interceptions.
Ugh.
So full disclosure, I was asleep for the first 2 USC touchdowns of the game.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, that's a new dad life right there.
Trust me. Yes. So when I woke up and realized what time it was, I turned it on for the 34 straight points. So that was fun. But the first USC offensive drive of the game was that I saw was a run for 0 yards, a pass for maybe a yard, a JT Daniels sack, and then a missed field goal. It was beautiful. I was so excited to be awake.
I mean, futile, Michael. And then to look at it, so it's the offense is doing terrible. The defense gave up 541 total yards, 27 first downs, 11.4 yards per attempt, 200 yards rushing.
But I mean, what are you supposed to do when you're always on the field?
So here's the thing. And it's one of those things like USC's got a good defense. Okay, they've been good all year.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah.
I mean, they're not bad. Like I wouldn't say they're bad.
They're not the problem, but they're definitely not the solution.
They're not the problem, but the thing is sometimes you get in a situation where, like, we can't carry you today because there's some things we got to get figured out ourselves, and we could get it figured out if we had some time to actually figure things out. See, the problem when you're going 3 and out every possession is the coaches can never make changes because the team is always out there. So you're never able to actually talk to them and break it down and be like, hey, this is what they're doing. We need to fix it up this way. You can't do it until halftime. And what was it? 20 to 14 at halftime?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Something like that. I mean, so by that point, the momentum was, way on the other side. USC hadn't done anything. They'd scored 20 straight. And I mean, look, Utah, they do not. They're not afraid of USC. Like they're not. They don't.
They definitely aren't.
They have a confidence against them that they don't have. And look, I've been in this situation before where it's like you play a team that you're better than, but you also know like they know how to beat us. They know how to play us. So
the only Pac-12 South team to beat Clay Helton is Utah.
Yeah, they
twice.
Yeah, I mean Whittingham. He just we said it last year too. The guy knows if you switched coaches, USC would,
which is in the cards.
If you switch coaches, USC would pound them. They would pound them.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me.
So here's the thing. I was listening to the Peristyle podcast with Ryan Abraham,
also a friend of the pod. However, that episode never made it.
But you know what?
Made it to download.
He still took his time, Michael.
He did. We appreciate that.
Time out. So it's Ryan Abraham, Keely Ear, and I don't know who the third one was today.
Is it Harvey Hyde or
no
Dan Weber? Or...
It was someone who isn't normally on it because they were in Utah. They were at like an Airbnb or something. So they were talking about it, and they took some voicemails from people, so they call in, and it was basically like, when can we fire like T. Martin?
Yeah, I think T. Martin's public enemy number one, and I think Clay Helton, an offensive line coach, are like 2A and 2B. it seems like on the hit list.
It sounded a lot like all the conversations Notre Dame fans were having in 2016.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna make that analogy and ask you when we got to the end of this. Like, what do we do here, Greg? You were there. You saw it firsthand. Brian Van Gorder was just, dumpster fire. He was bad news. That the defense had good players. They couldn't stop anybody. Everyone knew he was the problem. Now here's the difference. Here's the difference, though.
Okay.
I know that Brian Kelly doesn't care about defense. I'm still not 100% convinced that Clay Helton isn't calling the plays.
On offense?
Yeah. Or he doesn't have like a real hand in the pot.
He probably does. He must. He's the head coach.
Yes.
So he must have some sort of, I don't want to say pull, but if he wants to run a play, he can say, hey, run this.
Well, last year it was play calling by a three-man committee. It was Clay Helton, his brother Tyson Helton, and T. Martin.
Okay, that's funny because that is exactly the way Notre Dame did it. They also had a three-man team. So they had a three-man team in 2015, and it went okay. And then they had the same situation in 2016, and it was a dumpster fire.
Did not go okay.
No.
So this year, allegedly, T. Martin is calling the plays, but I don't know. I don't buy it.
Okay.
Now, does that mean he's a good offensive coordinator? I don't know. Is he a good wide receivers coach? Probably not. But great recruiter. So right. I don't know. I don't know who to blame. But yes, the public enemy number one is T. Martin.
So the parallels are actually very similar because it sounds to me like fans had the idea in their head like, hey, like we had a good season last year and that's fine, with Sam Darnold and everything. But people had questions about T. Martin just in general. Like there was a sense that like he's not the guy. We need to upgrade here. But they had just, they won the Rose Bowl the year before, and then the next year, they go to the Cotton Bowl or whatever against Ohio State.
Sam Darnold fixes things.
Right. But so you do those things, and it's like, well, are we gonna change offensive coordinators? Like, are we gonna shuffle the staff after Rose Bowl and Cotton Bowl appearances? And obviously he didn't, and now like everyone's fears are coming to fruition because it's like, oh man, now we stink.
Yes.
And now it's kind of too late. And they made the point on their podcast, like it's mid-season. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you really changing if you fire T. Martin now?
Mid-season firings never work out well.
Yeah, like you're not doing it because you're going to shore up something. I mean, I guess you could in theory. Like you could fire him and then Clay Helton says, I'm going to do it.
Well, the running backs coach is an old Michigan offensive coordinator. So there's a guy.
Wait, from what era?
I don't remember. I didn't get that far in my history dive.
Because
it could be the Brady Hoke era for all I know.
A lot of Michigan guys were not good, and that's why they're not there anymore. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. But still, he had a job as an offensive coordinator. There's a guy who knows how to do it.
What Brian
practically speaking,
what Brian Kelly has been able to do with when he fired his defensive coordinator and then he got rid of a whole bunch of other coaches. Like what he was able to do now, he's 17-3 since 2016. I did not think he could. I didn't think he could do it, and he found a way.
These are like his friends, right? I think that's another knock on Clay Helton is he has a bunch of his buddies here,
right,
on the coaching staff.
Yeah, Kelly definitely had people that he was familiar with for sure. So,
yeah, I don't see Brian Kelly as someone who actually has friends. He's like a friends kind of guy.
Well, I mean, former coaches,
right?
Coaches, guys he's coached with before. The other problem is like the people that Brian Kelly got rid of, like they weren't necessarily like great recruiters. So you're not really losing anything that way. Whereas, T. Martin, like you said, he's a great recruiter.
Allegedly.
Right.
I mean, look, the best recruiter is location.
Right, the school.
I mean, not even the school. Like, look, Southern California, but the best football players in the nation come from Southern California.
That's true, but I mean, no one's going to UCLA.
They beat Cal by a lot.
I mean, how dare you talk to me about UCLA and Cal?
And Rick Neuheisel was actively not recruiting people, so he was planning a vacation home.
Here's another thing that I want to just run by you, because they're all talking about like how to fix it, right? And Ryan Abraham and that podcast have been pretty consistent about practice and how they don't hit. And
that's the big talking point. Everyone's saying that.
Like, what do you think about that?
I don't know. It looks like more than just bad tackling. It looks like people just don't care. Like, I think defense is a lot of effort. And you can get away by like trying hard playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, scheme obviously matters. I'm not being that simplistic, but it looks like guys just aren't hustling. Guys aren't trying to finish plays. Like, hey, I'm in the hole. Okay, someone else going to tackle him though. Like, waiting for someone else to help bring him down.
Right.
You're hoping, like I kind of have contained, or I'm the only guy out here. What's going to happen? So I don't know. I feel like I guess it is kind of an intensity thing. Now, do you need to tackle each other to get intensity? I don't know. You only have so many hits in a season, and why waste them in practice?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get, I think it's a coaching thing, right? And I've never coached major college football. I've never even been in a practice. So if you can get your guys fired up and in the right places and hitting hard and flying, zigging around without tackling, great. But maybe you need them to tackle. I think it's to the coach. Like, if your guys aren't performing, then maybe you need to shake it up. I don't think generally speaking, I don't think teams need to tackle. However, the way things look out there, a week of smacking each other around might not hurt.
So teams, not every team does, right?
Right.
So, is it the best way, or is it just a way?
Yeah, I think it's just something. I think it's something people can see to blame things on, because it's hard. Right. It's hard to just say the coaches aren't doing their job. Well, and then someone asks, "Well, what do you mean the coaches aren't doing their job?" It's like, they don't look good. Oh, what do you mean they don't look good? Well, they're not finishing off plays. They're missing tackles. Okay, well, what can they do to fix that? And it's like, well, okay, no one has a real answer for that. Like, if you had the answer for that, you'd be the USC defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just something that people know is happening because everyone's saying it.
So the other thing, as like that, this kind of is a symptom of being non-physical, like a non-physical team. 5 of the 7 games they've rushed for under 115 yards.
Yeah, that's not good.
In 3 of the 7, they've rushed for under 75 yards.
Yeah, that's really not good.
I mean, see, this thing is, like, the thing with tackling. Now, I don't really remember from the Pete Carroll era, just because I didn't follow it as closely. My impression is that Pete Carroll's teams were very physical in practice.
But they might have. I'm trying to remember too. I know they had one of the days. One of the days was like Win Forever Wednesday, and there was like Always Compete Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on Tuesdays, I think that was the live day. Like, on Tuesdays was the day that you knew you had to bring it.
Right.
And if you didn't bring it, you could lose your job. And I think people could actively gun for your spot.
Mm-hmm.
Was something they did. I think ones went again. Whoa, One's went against one. So like the starting offense would go against the starting defense, regardless of scheme that they were facing that week. So I think that was a big Pete Carroll thing. But now the rest of the week, I'm not sure what happened. I just know on like the one day, they just went all out.
See,
that was like 15 years ago. I mean, so practice rules might have changed as well.
That's the thing. It's super hard because the game has moved away from that sort of thing. You know, like it's just like the football is so difficult. Coaches are moving away from, you know, just such physicality, like just during the week. Like A, you don't want to get people hurt, and B, just like you don't want to hurt, like you have someone hurt for the game, and B, like it's just in general, like you want to take care of your players, right?
Right.
Like no, like players are, you know, you want to compete all the time, but at the same time, like you don't want to be getting beat up.
There's like a real fine line between like you want your guys fired up, you want your guys hitting, but you don't want your guys hurting and, you know, being worried about not telling someone about an injury or having like knocking your starting linebacker out because you guys are doing the Oklahoma drill.
Right. No, there is a fine line. And unfortunately, like, I think that the best teams find a way to just be super physical in practice. Like practices are super intense and you get after each other and that breeds just competitiveness. And you just get weathered.
I still think you can go pretty good at like 75% speed. Like
you can go. I mean, you played football, Mike. Like you know, like when you're going, you're going. Like, hey, I'm getting you on the ground some kind of way. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like we're actually like you said, someone is coming for my spot today. Like this isn't about who we're playing next week. Like I have to win this practice, or else I'm not going to play. And that sort of intensity, like it just
right. And I mean, because even if you're tackling and you're tackling half-ass, like, well, okay, great. What did that do? You know.
So the thing about that is that I feel like every program is having that. It has the same issue that USC does.
Like I bet all over Ohio State, like the practice was weak this week. They weren't ready for Purdue. They went half pads for the 5 days.
Like I think that there's something else about the way that they practice,
right?
That is problematic.
Because I mean, look, USC wants to be like this high flying JT Daniels throw the ball offense. I feel like you can go pretty hard in practice at the wide receivers and the DBs.
You can
without you know having someone sack him every play.
Right.
Like they can hold each other. I mean, I'm sure Amon Marshall is pass interfering guys in practice. I can't imagine that he's not holding people.
Yeah.
But what I also imagine is the wide receivers aren't trying to fight it. They're like, oh, look, this guy's cheating, coach. What do you want me to do? Whereas when teams are really going, you know, he's going to hand fight back and get open and stuff.
I think one of the problems is that Clay Helton isn't enough of a hard ass.
No, not at all.
He's a player's coach. And I think it's made the program a little bit soft.
Definitely. He's like a manager. That's what I called him in the season preview. He came to USC. They always have good players. They always have quality staff. I guess it's a top notch program. So he can't. I mean, look how bad they are, and they're still in the running for the Pac-12 South, still in the running for the Pac-12 title. He's still undefeated at home. Like, and we're talking about this guy getting fired. This guy won a Rose Bowl and a Pac-12 title. We're talking about getting this guy fired. Like, that's what kind of person he is. He's just ho-hum, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he could go be the offensive coordinator at, like, I don't know, some SEC school.
I mean, you would think at some point, like, especially this week, like, does he need to take over play calling? He's got a guy.
I think he's too nice a guy. I don't think he'll do it. He should have come out Sunday night, been like, look, we're down. Our quarterbacks are down. Things aren't working right. I'm the head coach. I'm calling plays.
I mean,
And I think that,
it
probably
should
would
have
have
been.
sparked something.
It should have been during the game. Like they had 7 straight drives that were 3 plays. I mean,
he's just too nice.
You got at that point you got to say, okay, it's now 17-14. It was 14-0. It is now 17-14. Like, I'm going to start calling some stuff.
Yeah, I should not be making my Clay Helton face. The writing's on the wall.
Right. Like, this is getting out of hand.
I got to earn my paycheck right here.
And it's 17-14, and we haven't run, like, we haven't had a first down in like 15 minutes. Like, he's got to make that decision. He isn't. Yeah. And as far as like, I don't know what to do. I don't think they should. I don't like benching the quarterback just because you play him.
Yeah, what's the point?
Well, you've put your, because now, like, benching him, that's like,
I mean, you've seen quarterback competitions for the last like 3 seasons.
Yeah, like if you just sit him down, like, that is tough to deal with. I mean, it rarely happens that a guy's doing well and then you sit him, or you play him and you start him. He's a true freshman or whatever. You start him for 7 games and then you just sit him for performance. And look, maybe they can kind of use the concussion as an excuse to be like, okay, like, let's make sure he's all right. Let's sit him down for a couple weeks. Maybe we'll use him in emergencies. We're gonna let him heal up a little bit. Because I remember Clausen in 2007 during that godforsaken season. I think they sat him for a couple games to just like, look, he's getting beat up. He needs to sit for a couple of games. And it wasn't because it was not so much performance because he was playing not like great, but the whole team was playing not great. It was just like
no one was helping him out. He just needed a breather.
Right. Like, it is just
get you out of the deep end.
Yeah.
So you
like,
don't drown.
Let your body hang out for a little bit. Maybe that would be good for him. Maybe it'd be good to just have him sit and watch. The thing is, like, I don't know what you're getting from Jack Sears. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, the last time a San Clemente quarterback was starting at USC, they won a Rose Bowl, and the next year they won a Pac-12 title. So it could be the magic spot.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing too, is that what if Sears comes in
and it's good
and is like decent?
I mean, you remember I said it last year that I was a Sears guy for a while, and I changed my tune. But yeah, what if? What if he's lights out? Because they have good receivers. Like, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
You're just slightly accurate.
You just have to. I mean, but the thing is like the what I would say if I was Clay Helton, I would say put together the game plan for Sears. We're going to go with Sears. Put together that game plan.
He's getting all the reps on Monday.
And then like if Daniels is cleared, don't tell anybody. And then
like Willis read him, just have him show up at game
time.
Not
Willis read him, but just like okay, you got the game plan for Sears? Good. Keep that game plan, run it for Sam or run it for JT.
Oh, sneaky. I like it.
Just like hey, keep the game plan, but we're gonna do it for the freshman instead of Sears.
All right. Well, this coming weekend, USC has Arizona State. We don't, like we were just saying, we don't know who the quarterback is.
They're fighting Herm Edwards.
So there's no line out. The Arizona State's not good anymore. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen on Saturday? By the way, because I was asleep, I did not get any Jules Shillelaghs in on this one. I would have taken Utah and given the points because Clay Helton is now 1-11 as the underdog at USC.
Awesome.
Tim
texted me. He was wondering. He was like, during the week, he said USC's plus 6.5. Like, seems a little high. Like, man, Clay Helton at Utah. That's what
on
that
the
is.
road, on the road, and an underdog. No.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to what people really want to know, Greg.
What's that?
Are you going to San Diego on Saturday?
As of right this second, yes.
Ooh.
But we'll see
Okay.
how
All
things
right.
go. As of
So this Saturday, Notre Dame flies into beautiful San Diego, California.
Beautiful.
90 to 110 minutes away from where we are.
Yeah, it's about right.
They will be playing the Navy midshipmen, who Navy, I guess, also has to fly into beautiful Southern California.
They do.
And right now the line is Notre Dame is a 22-point favorite. I don't know who set that up, because if there's one thing I know in doing this podcast, Navy has it out for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I guess they're bad this year.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Here's the thing. They're bad, but they're always scoring a lot of points. So that always makes me nervous, right? So
didn't they change their offense up this year? Like they throw the ball now or something?
No, they don't throw the ball now.
Okay.
That's people surmise that's why they've been pretty bad.
Because 2 seasons ago they had the guy who scored like the most touchdowns as a quarterback or something, right?
Yes.
And then last season they were throwing the ball. So this season they're just bad.
Yeah, they're just not a good throwing team at all. But they lost 59-41.
That's a lot of points.
They beat Memphis 22-21. They beat Lehigh 51. So they've scored, 41, 22, 51, 37 against Air Force. Sheesh. 17. They just lost to Houston 49-36.
I mean, Houston's kind of good.
So they scored 36 points in a loss. So my only concern there is you scored 36 points. What if the offense is just kind of doo-doo again? Then what? But I don't know. I'm not going to get too worried about it. Not pretend to be like, oh, I'm worried. I don't know. If they lose to this dumb team, then that's the way it is. Yeah, you just had a close game, right? And that's fine. But now, let's start. You got to start playing well again. They need to start playing good offensively.
Are there any stories from the bye week?
Any stories from the bye week? I don't think so.
No one did anything stupid?
Not that I know of. We'll find out.
That's true. It is only Sunday.
Yeah.
I think it's Sunday. I don't know what the days are anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so you're feeling good about Notre Dame? Nothing we need to worry about?
I feel fine. We're number 3 now.
As of right now, you're going to the game. Where's the game?
It's at the where the Chargers used to play.
Jack Murphy, or it's called some Qualcomm?
It's not even called Qualcomm anymore. It's called something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Southern California Energy Field.
Yes, sir.
All right. And let's see. I had another question for you.
Okay.
It was about, we did our comparison of Brian Van Gorder and T. Martin. It was about Brian Kelly. What was it about Brian Kelly? I mean, well, I guess we know. I was going to say, what would Brian Kelly do if he were USC's head coach? But I guess we know. He'd fire his assistants. So what – okay. Here's the question. Well, that was the question. It got real bad for Notre Dame that season. What do you think is going to happen to USC the rest of the way? As with your Notre Dame – using your Notre Dame eye of seeing a team with bad coordinators finish the season.
The rest of this year?
Yeah. What do you think happens the rest of this year using your Notre Dame eye? That was
it's kind of hard to say because I have no idea. I have no idea of anything about Jack Sears. I don't know that I've ever seen him play. If they can get by Arizona State, then you figure they should win 3 in a row. Just based on the fact that like Oregon State is barely like a FBS school, and Cal
It's falling apart.
Cal is falling apart, and then you have at UCLA, which is like basically a home game. So like those are bad teams. You should be able to win those 3. So, I mean, if you can get by Arizona State somehow, then you're looking at, a 4-game winning streak.
So was that 7-3?
Yeah, and then you're 7-3, and
it'd be
8-3.
8-3.
Yeah, you're 8-3, and then you're playing Notre Dame, and maybe you're feeling good about things. Maybe some things have gotten better, and you can make your season with that kind of win. Like, it's hard to say though. Like if they lose to Arizona State, then that's 4-4. And now the Pac-12 South is out. Not
what are you playing for?
Right, not totally, but it kind of is. And maybe you feel
winning
like
the Pac-12 South would have had to be destiny for you to get in the Pac-12 title game.
Oh boy!
See what I did there, everybody?
I see that. Man, USC has negative point differential.
Yes, they are one of 4 teams in the Pac-12 with negative point differential.
That's nuts.
During the broadcast, I was listening in the car for a minute. They said they said that USC hadn't been dominated like this by a Pac-12 opponent in a long time, and then I think Pete Arbogast was like, "But there was Notre Dame last year."
Yes, there was, Michael.
I thought you guys would like that.
There was.
If you root for the Irish.
So I mean, yeah, a lot comes down this weekend. Like,
so this is the season, huh?
If they lose, let me ask you this. Let's say they lose to Arizona State 27-17. Something like that.
Okay.
They're 4-4. Like, Clay Helton's got to be thinking, I'm like unplugging my phone, right?
This is the hottest of seats.
I mean, because
Colin Cowherd's already turned on him. And Colin Cowherd was a Clay Helton guy. The herd backed Clay Helton, but not anymore.
Know. I just feel like at that point, he's in big trouble. He's just in big trouble. So I don't know. Like, would you fire him? Like, I feel like if you fire him, then you got to fire T. Martin too.
Oh yeah, I mean, you clean house.
But then it's like, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? Clancy Pendergast, the running back coach from Michigan.
Clancy Pendergast wants no part in being the USC head coach. He's still waiting for an NFL team to give him a call.
Well, no, I mean for the rest of the season.
If they fire him if they don't let him leave the airport.
Yeah,
or I guess they'd escort him to LAX. I don't know how that works.
Like, would they want a lame duck?
Man, I don't know.
Man, if they lose again, because this one would be at home.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, he's never lost at home.
He has never lost at home.
And he's only lost to one Pac-12 South opponent. So if we go by trends, they should be okay.
I mean, they're 3-4.
If they're an underdog, though. But if they're an underdog, that's a different trend. So I don't even know. I guess the game would be a pick-em, probably.
Yeah, Arizona State's 3-4.
Yeah, they would start off 3-0, right? They lost 4 in a row.
They lost 2 in a row. They started out 2-0. They've lost 4 of their last 5.
Did you see who the highest ranked team in the Pac-12 is?
The Pac-12 period, Washington State. Probably.
Washington State, the Cougs.
I mean, an incredible win.
What was his name? Graham Mayhew? I
don't know.
I don't remember, but he's tearing up the Pac-12.
Just destroying.
Graduate transfer. With a good mustache. Did you see JT Daniels shaved his mustache? I thought of you after his concussion protocol test. They showed him on the sideline.
Oh my goodness.
So he was just chin goatee now.
Oh no.
He lost his Backstreet Boy.
No, get rid of
goatee combo.
Hocus pocus. Don't need it. Come on. Man.
Did you see? Did you see? Speaking of Washington State, I had a great segue there. I missed. Mike Leach went after the Pac-12 officials because they did not call the targeting penalty on Porter Gustin in the USC game, and he said they didn't call it because they wanted USC to win. He just flat out said it. And it was a great little text exchange that they have on the interwebs. You can find.
Who was he texting?
I think the Pac-12 head of officiating, or it could have been Larry Scott, the head of the Pac-12.
I mean, I don't know about that. It's a pretty indefensible, non-call.
Yeah.
It's super, you have to call it.
I believe he said, we're going to show, or whoever the Pac-12 official he was talking to said, I'm going to show your athletic director these texts. And Mike Leach said, go ahead.
He's like, I don't need, this is not.
He's like, some guy's blasted my quarterback in the head with his helmet, and nobody calls on the game-ending drive.
Could you please show my athletic director?
Yeah,
he's sitting right next to me.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here.
Right,
we were light on Notre Dame talk this week because of the bye. I'm sure if Greg goes to the game, we'll have tons of. Maybe I can go to the SC game. We can do two experiences.
Yeah,
we'll see. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Find Greg, uhnd.com. He writes stuff every week. He's Greg2126 on Twitter. We're Tilting Ground on Twitter. Subscribe to the podcast. Write comments. Send in questions. We haven't put in one of those in a while. Maybe we'll do that for next week.
Yeah.
And other than that, fight on.
Go Irish.